Welcome back to the build. We got a short video for you today. Just got the wing kit delivered. We're going to go ahead and go through and inventory all the parts as well as the hardware, then get them organized and put away. The wings actually arrived back at the end of April. I did all this inventory back then as well, just way behind on getting the videos out to you. I start out by just unpacking everything from the crates and laying them out on my workbenches to be inventoried before transferring them over to my shelves. As usual, Vance does a great job packing everything in the crates. There was some minor damage to the crates themselves from shipping, however none of the parts inside were damaged. I'm going to go ahead and inventory all of the hardware bags now. One thing I did to make the process a little bit easier, I went ahead and ordered all of the bags in the order that they show up on the inventory sheet. It only took a couple of minutes to run through and get them sorted. It'll make the actual inventory process a lot easier. Now I'm not having to bounce back and forth either on the inventory sheet or search all of the bags to find the number I'm looking for. One thing I will mention is when you're doing the solid rivets, you don't actually need to count the individual number of rivets in there. They actually give you a quantity by weight, essentially, that's going to end up giving you more rivets than you actually need for the project. But when it comes to all of the other hardware, the bolts, nut plates, even the pop rivets, I go ahead and inventory those because those are an individual count. All right, so right here in the first bag, this is why you do the inventory. I had kind of a crazy, one of these nut plates basically is just damaged. And try and get in a little closer so you can see that. It's supposed to be a normal nut plate where you can rivet the ends on, but the edges are broken off. So I'm actually one short on that nut plate, so I'll have to let Vans know once I go through the rest of the inventory. I'll see if there's anything else I'm missing as well. While I'm busy counting in the background, I'll go ahead and give you the spoiler. Besides the damaged nut plate, I was only missing 2 other screws. Rather than call Vans, though, I actually had a work trip to Atlanta shortly after doing the inventory. So I just stopped into Aircraft Spruce, bought the couple pieces I was missing. It only cost me about $3. One thing I will say that while inventorying the hardware is a tedious step, I think more importantly is organizing all the hardware and the parts after everything's inventoried, just to make sure it's easier to find as you begin the build so you aren't wasting time searching for stuff. I'll go ahead and show you what I do to organize the hardware now. I bought these hardware storage bins from Menards that I label with each bolt, screw, etc. Each of the plastic bins then have a sealable tub to prevent accidental spillage if I drop it. I also have another one down here with the rivets. Then using drawer slides I can keep them out of the way when I don't need them. Now that the hardware is done, we move on to the much easier but equally time-consuming larger pieces in the kit. As I check the item off the inventory sheet, I'm moving them to an empty shelf behind me. I'm a big fan of organizing the parts as best as possible, so I have the shelves sorted by the parts they build. In other words, I put all the flat parts together on one shelf, ailerons on another, same for the fuel tanks, leading edge, main wing pieces, etc. Right now I'm just throwing them on a tentative shelf, then later I'll go back and place tape on the front of the shelf, label where each of the pieces are so it's easier to find from a glance, rather than having to search the labels on the parts themselves each time I need something. Doing this has made the process much easier while building the empennage, and led to almost no wasted time looking for parts, so I'm going to continue to do it moving forward. It takes a little extra time, but it's well worth it in the end. Some of the subkits, like the Stahl Warner kit you see me inventorying here, have a lot of hardware as well that should be counted, but rather than separating the hardware from the subkit to put with the larger inventory, I just keep it all together, so when I get to that part, all the stuff is self-contained. there you have it. The wings are inventoried. Everything's organized and put away. Total time for the inventory was about 6 hours, from uncrating everything to sorting it and getting it put into its hardware bins as well as up on the shelves. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you want to be advised when my next video is coming out. Like I said, the rudder's actually already complete. Everything's videoed. I just got to get it edited and get it out to you guys. And then we'll also have the right and left elevators coming out pretty shortly as well. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you at Oshkosh.